in time when each of your characters realized that they were queer?
À quel moment est-ce que leurs personnages ont compris qu'il y avait cette attirance et que du coup ils n'étaient pas hétéros?
I say this with a caveat that I think is really, really cool that we wrote into the universe, that I feel like in the Grishaverse there isn't discrimination for queer people, which is part of the reason I love that universe so much. So I think with that context, I think discovering that about yourself would probably be less traumatic. I feel like a really cool... Yeah, so a really cool thing about Wylan specifically as a gay character is that, you know, his baggage is never the fact that he's queer, that's never the problem. So I assume that probably in a world where that exists, he's able to exist authentically from a very early age. I think he probably was always just that way and never ever questioned it. And it's amazing that nobody else in the universe questions it for him either. So I think that's how I answer that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure, I don't know enough about the ins and outs of how life is like in WSM. But I would imagine there's the world in which like Jesper has a whole awakening with regards to everything is like when he arrives in Ketterdam. Because it's, you know, it's that classic like country boy moves to the big city story. And then he just goes nuts with it all and quits uni and immediately jumps into crime. But it's clearly quite successful at it because he's still alive. Because I think in a way, obviously you can't really compare these things, but I think that through line of hiding a part of yourself and who you are is Jesper's journey with being Grisha. Because he's so open about who he is in every other aspect of his life. Like, we're not seeing like racism in Ketterdam either, really. Like, obviously there's like tensions with Ravka and Fjäder and Shuhan, but those are wars elsewhere. It feels like in Ketterdam, like everyone is everyone, and the oppression is people with powers and people without.
Like this convention.
But yeah, I imagine it would have been very early, and if not, then it would have been like, you know, kid in the candy shop when he gets to Ketterdam, he sort of goes, wow, everyone here is really hot. Maybe that, because he spent his life around horses for a while. You know? But yeah.
Donc du coup, Jack nous dit que pour son personnage, en fait, dans cet univers-là, être queer ou pas, en fait, n'a aucune importance, c'est pas quelque chose sur lequel on va être discriminé ou jugé, et c'est plus, à la limite, si on a des pouvoirs et si on n'en a pas. Donc il a été authentique à lui-même depuis le début, c'est quelque chose qu'il savait de toute façon pour lui depuis bien longtemps. Et sinon, il nous dit que pour son personnage à lui, c'est vrai que y a des conflits politiques, il y a des trucs et des machins, mais au final, la couleur de peau, qui on est, son orientation sexuelle n'a vraiment aucune importance dans la relation avec les autres et la manière dont on est traité. Ça va plutôt être basé sur est-ce que tu as des pouvoirs, est-ce que tu n'as pas de pouvoir. Et Jesper a vraiment un côté où, comme pour sa sexualité et son intimité, avec ses pouvoirs, il va avoir tendance à cacher ça un petit peu ou à pas trop se connecter à cette partie de lui, alors que sur d'autres sujets, il est super ouvert et au contraire, il va raconter des trucs, il a une sexualité un peu débridée, etc. Mais quand ça touche un peu l'intime et cette vraie partie de lui, c'est vrai que peut-être c'est un peu plus compliqué, mais bon, de toute façon, il a son évolution dans l'histoire.
What is something that you incorporated from the books, and what are some personal flares you added?
Alors qu'est-ce qu'ils ont récupéré du livre pour faire leur personnage à l'écran, et qu'est-ce qu'ils ont amené de eux-mêmes aussi dedans?
I think that's probably an especially good question for all of us crows, because we weren't adapting, you know, scenes from the book right off. Whereas the Shadowbone guys, that was immediately what they were doing. So we really had to take from stuff and then try to implement that. I think, especially in season 1, the thing that was told with Jesper, I think applied to Kaz and as well, but especially Jesper, is that he's a much kind of younger, more naive version. Because there's a bit of him in Crows where he's seen it all, he's a bit jaded. Like, he's not the new kid on the block, and that's kind of a bit of the tension here. He's like, here's the newbie, you're in the way. And then, but he's that guy at the beginning. The thing that I really loved in all the books, especially when you get to the certain chapters they kind of have tonal shifts. It's like, it feels like Jesper's chapters are like the action movie part. It's like every time we cut to him, it's like when the explosion starts going off and it's like, Jesper's never more alive than in a fight. And it was those things which was like, whenever we get into stunt rehearsals, the other two would have kind of like quite a serious thing about it, and mine was like, well, if Jesper's playing, like he's going to punch a guy, but he just slaps him instead and laughs, and he's enjoying himself, and it's an entertaining but quite toxic thing, because it means that he seeks the danger. So that was something. And then I think a lot of the stuff that came from us was the chemistry we had, so a lot of the jokes changed. They used to be much naughtier, and then they got cut out because they hadn't decided what rating the show was. But yeah, I think a lot of the humour stuff is a bit more me than the book itself, because that's one person's interpretation rather than a collective, which is what show.
Donc il explique qu'il y a une différence entre, de toute façon c'est une interprétation du livre, il y a forcément des choses qui n'ont pas été mises, qui sont réadaptées d'une partie de l'histoire, puisqu'ils ont fusionné plusieurs livres ensemble. Donc il dit qu'il y a un côté de Jasper où en fait dans le livre il est quand même un peu plus naïf, un peu plus doux, surtout au début, son évolution elle est assez importante, et il dit dans la série il y a beaucoup plus de scènes d'action avec mon personnage, et c'est vrai que j'ai dû amener, alors il y a un côté très amusant et à la fois un peu toxique dans le fait qu'il aime l'action, il aime aller au combat et faire des trucs, mais donc il dit qu'il a amené quand même pas mal de lui à l'intérieur, parce que ça reste une interprétation, c'est lui qui a incarné ce personnage, ça fait quelqu'un d'autre aussi qui l'aurait fait différemment, et le livre est aussi une autre manière de raconter Jasper au final.
I think for Wylan, I'll try and keep it really short, I think for Wylan it was really tough because there's so many aspects of Wylan's character in the books that I think loads of people are drawn to and are very reflective of very personal things within them that I really wanted to hold on to, but at the same time we age the characters up in our show, so there's lots of behaviour that would make sense for a 15-year-old Wylan to make, that maybe I was really excited to see what a 25-year-old Wylan would be like. I was talking with somebody earlier about this exact thing, and they said the words like strength and softness, and I think that was a big thing for me, was trying to maintain Wylan's like courage and bravery and all the cool catty things he does, whilst also keeping him really soft, because that was part of the character I thought was really important.
Donc il dit qu'en effet son personnage a pas le même âge dans le livre que dans la série aussi au final, donc c'est une interprétation un peu différente. Et il dit à quelqu'un, j'en ai parlé il n'y a pas longtemps, qui m'a dit il est vraiment il est fort tout en étant doux à la fois. Et il dit, et ça m'a beaucoup touché parce que c'est ce que je recherche, c'est-à-dire montrer le courage de ce personnage, sa force de caractère et le fait d'y aller, en fait continuer de poursuivre malgré les embûches, et à la fois garder cette douceur, cette tendresse et cette chaleur qui est propre à lui et qui fait que ça parle à beaucoup d'entre vous aussi, donc voilà, c'est de garder un peu des deux dans son interprétation du personnage.